think this prop firm it's bound to be one of the top ones for sure. It's top one in my book. And I can't wait to see you guys grow, and hopefully I can grow with you guys.
He's been trading in the markets for the last 7 years and went through a lot. Please meet the trader that got 13K out of GoatFundedTrader. Okay, so first of all, I want to say thanks for accepting the invitation to our interview. And also, I want to congratulate you for the 2 payouts that you got from GoatFundedTrader. You're the first trader that we interview, and it's an honor for us. Thank you again.
Absolutely.
And Jose, can
Yes.
you tell us about yourself a little bit? Like, our viewers do not know a lot about yourself. Me and Edward already know, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your trading journey?
Yes. So I've been trading for 7 years. Blew through many live accounts. I'm sure you've gone through a couple accounts as well. But I think this journey has been incredible because you watch yourself grow little by little. When you start actually putting in the time and taking things seriously or more consistently. This is a profession that's not for everybody because it has its highs and lows. And I think you learn a lot about yourself, how you react to your lows and how you react to your highs as well.
Absolutely.
I'm very happy to be where I'm at, but I still got a lot of improving to do. I'm just glad that finally I'm able to see something out of, the time that I put in. It's crazy because I spoke with Edward maybe a couple weeks ago, and great guy, along with Nicolo as well. And I was telling him, I remember I messaged him early this year. I actually quit my job to pursue trading full time.
Oh, that's awesome. When did it happen?
It was a bad decision at first because I didn't have any savings or anything like that. But that's how dedicated I was. I was like, you know what? I'm going to say, screw it. I'm going to quit and try to do this full time. I had a live account, which was doing good until, I blew through it. Poor risk management once again. So I still continue to study because I was like, what if I just take a different route and go prop firm? I've always been good at, building a good live account amount and then just unfortunately losing it. And then when I finally did do the prop firm, I was like, wow, I should have done this a long time ago.
When
And
was
with
that?
GoatFundedTrader, the best thing about GoatFundedTrader is that you guys really do stand out in multiple ways. Customer service, easy access to the CEO, which is Edward. Customer service was amazing as well. The payout, I actually had a problem with my payout, but Edward took the initiative to communicate it with me, and I was really appreciative of that. Because I didn't have to wonder, oh, am I actually gonna get paid or whatever. But yeah, no, it's been a long 7 years, but I'm glad I finally got to this point. I'm getting to meet, people like Edward later this year and his team over there in Canary Islands. And not only that, I'm chatting with you over here, it's an honor to be the first person that you guys interview over this. So I'm pretty excited.
Oh, we appreciate you for that. Really, really, it's an honor for us, not for you, honestly. But when did you discover about prop firms? When did you start to
So
take
I
care?
knew about prop firms the whole time. I was just too scared to, take the challenge and then lose my money. I was scared about that. So I was like, I felt more safe just investing $500 into a live account and then just growing it. But it was always in the back of my head that, okay, I need to take a prop firm because I have access to more capital gains, which FTMO is the one that stuck out. I mean, I think everybody knows FTMO at this point.
Yes.
And but then I saw Edward open up his own prop firm. I mean, I support anything he does because he has a great culture. He has a good head on his shoulder. And then I saw that you guys were a little bit different as far as like up to like the 95% payout, which is pretty awesome. As well as you guys have swap free. The no time limit was very key for me. That was very key because I didn't feel the pressure of, man, I need to pass this in 30 days. And I think that's where a lot of traders who go with prop firms get freaked out because they know they only have a certain window in order to pass these challenges. And it can get challenging because let's say you do pass the first one in 30 days. And like in FTMO, you get 60 days, but people don't factor in like how close they are to finally passing that firm, and they blow the second phase because they feel like it's a smaller, because of this smaller amount, the smaller percentage they have to make. But what I like about GoFunded as well is that you only get one chance, so you got to do everything right as much as you can. FTMO does give you a second chance to retake that second phase, but I think it shows how you guys like to make sure you got the best disciplined traders through this prop firm, and I think that's pretty awesome as well, because it forces you to make smarter decisions and not trade whatever, at whatever time you want.
Actually, GoatFunded has an option to retake the challenge too if you're in profit.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean the first phase, yeah, but like on FTMO, like if you fail the second phase, they'll give you a retry. I think.
From what I've seen with Edward, if anybody suggests something to him, he will immediately add it inside the prop firm.
And I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you're actually right about that first one. Yeah, I mean, if you're in profits, yeah, they'll give you another chance. But I mean, like I said, you guys overall are very awesome, very, very awesome, and very professional. And the payouts are day and night, which is perfect. Because I know some people tend to wonder about prop firms. They're like, "Am I really going to get paid?" And you don't believe it until the money hits your account. But it's perfect. It's everything from start to finish. It's amazing, and I think what you guys are doing it's really great stuff.
Like, first of all, what pairs do you trade? Like, did the trades help?
Oh, what pairs do I take? So I usually trade with Edward trades as well, the GBUSD, NCD CAD, Euro USD. That's the only pairs that I'm comfortable with. I'll trade other pairs here and there, but I think when I first started, I really familiarized myself with GBP JPY. That's the actual pair that allowed me to pass my firms. But for now, I'm just focusing on those three because the strategy that I use really plays out along in those pairs. I forgot to include Euro GBP, but those are the main ones. I think if I was to go back in time and be able to tell myself, hey, start off with focusing in one pair. If you start doing that, you'll start seeing that you can learn the patterns, and then you can know when to go in or when to go out, or when not to go in, because the more you familiarize yourself with a pair, the more okay, I know what I need to do here. Even if I think the hardest adjustment for me, because this month has been very tough, very, very tough. Not everything's rainbows and sunshines, but I think what I've learned through this tough time was being comfortable with not taking something every day, not taking it. If the setup is not there, I'm not going to risk my capital. Why risk it? I fought so hard to get to this point, and for me to lose it just based on the need of having to feel to trade every day, it's not worth it, because who knows, maybe I may not pass another prop firm, so I got to take care of what I got. And, I treat this very, very seriously, because it took me a while to get here, and so, yeah, I mean, if I was to tell any new trader, look, just focus on one pair, and then once you pick up on the patterns of it, because the market repeats itself, and I think people tend to underestimate that, how much it repeats itself, and how often sometimes too, you see the same patterns over and over again. So I think it's all about studying those patterns, identifying them, and then just executing. It's crazy because you think trader, you think all these things, but at the same time, it can be so simple if you have a good mindset. But I think it all starts with the mindset. If you can control your emotions, your fear, your greed, your fear of missing out, which are things that I still have a little bit of trouble with here and there, but I'm slowly starting to take control of it, which is amazing.
So you already got paid out 13K with us. I'm pretty sure that the viewers are curious about your strategy. Like, you explained the psychological part, but can you show us maybe a little bit some technical analysis on chart? What are you looking for? And are you a day trader, swing trader? What exactly are you doing? Which
So
strategy do you
so
trade?
what I do is mainly focus on liquidity points, the changes of characters, as well as I use three things. So identify the liquidity point. Once the
Mhm.
liquidity point has been swept, okay, is there a change of character? If there is a change of character, is it a good one or is it a false one? Because sometimes, a false one means continuation. A good one means, okay, we're starting to reverse either upward or downward. And then, so if it's a false one or a good one, I'll use my Fibonacci. So I just use three key points, which is 0, 0.5, or 1. It reaches my area. I just continue to the upside, downside. Or if it's a reversal, I just wait for it to come back or go up, and then
Mhm.
I'm in. I have.
So it's
Would
simple.
you feel great if I showed you some examples? I actually got a lot of screenshots on my system. I don't know if you would like that. There it
Yes.
is. Okay.
All right.
So, for example, so I only like to trade because I have that. I'm sure a lot of traders have that tendency where they get confused on higher time frames. So, in the 4 hours bullish, but 1 hour shows bearish, and then the other smaller time frames. That's for me. That was very confusing as well. So, okay, so for me, I usually like to start off in the 30 minutes,
Mhm.
identify liquidity points, just pretty much line them out. This is a good liquidity point, but I usually like to go from session to session. So here, let's see, I think yesterday was a trade that I missed. So I'll go from 30 and then I go to 15.
So it's pretty simple. You don't really look on 4 hours daily. It's
No,
not a
because I'm I'm already an impatient person as it is, and I can't wait for things to play out. So I just try to do what I mean, I just try to I find a strategy that best fits my personality, which is trying to find something quick and then going from there. So this is actually yesterday was Wednesday. Okay, so for example, here we swept this high, and what I've learned is that markets move from liquidity to liquidity. So once this got swept, I'm already looking to see if there is a change of character in some sort of way. So what I'll
Mhm.
do is usually I'll be like, okay, there's a change of character because we went to the top. Now just waiting for this, maybe this low to be taken out, which it wicked below it. So I'll mark this. I'm sorry. Low. So now that I saw that, I'll go to maybe like the 3 minutes just to make it look more refined, which you can see it did. It is I think the best setup is when it's like a smaller amount, but this was a huge one. But I'll still like to take them because I've had more good results than bad ones. It just takes a little bit more to play out. And then this is when I use my fib. So I'll measure from the highest point to the lowest. Once it's retraced to this area, I usually like to use supply and demand zones to identify them, to identify where there's a possible entry. Or sometimes I'll just enter from here, from the middle
Mhm.
point, and then because sometimes the retracement is so quick that it will take out this high, but then it'll come down. So sometimes it's just about waiting too. And then just of course, I want to make sure that it's a good risk to reward ratio. So this one was actually a good one. So I'll stop at the high, which was
Mhm. So you covered the high too.
exactly. And then 1 to 3 is the minimum. That's what Edward taught us if you're in this course. So this was a 1 to 4, which was perfect. But like I said, I missed this trade. The way this month has been, uncertainty creeps in. Um, but sometimes I got to remind myself that my strategy has gotten me this far, and things like that. But so that's one that I missed yesterday, but I got plenty that are similar like that. So I'll have my winning, and I have folders here that I like to keep track of. So I like to what's it called, review some of the trades that I took. So for
So
this
journal.
one, I'll usually like write down or like mark here why I took this trade. So right here we had a yeah, it may work for me, it may work for others. but it may not work for you because of how you think or how you trade, or how you would like to trade. A lot of people like to trade smart money concepts, which is fine, but there's simpler and better ways to do things. And I think once you realize that, you when you're more open to saying like, okay, maybe there is a better way to do this, because I feel like a lot of traders who first start, they'll press their order, but they're freaking out from the first second because, oh my god, did I do this right or did I do this wrong? Even if you may be right, you still freak out because you're not set on what strategy works for you.
Yeah, do you think that this is because the trading plan is not established in the right way? It's not complete?
Yes. So I think people don't give their strategy enough time to play out to where they can have some type of statistics, how much. And I think this is why demo accounts can be so useful because you can keep track of how good your strategy does. You know, I'm guilty of, because my strategy didn't work. Okay, let me switch to another strategy and then another strategy. And I think that's something I regret so much because I didn't give my strategy enough time to play out. And I could have avoided a lot of losses if I just, because you're not going to be 100% of the time correct. And I think once you realize that, you don't blame it on your strategy. Your strategy may work, it just didn't work that one time. Because that's how the market plays out as well.
What did you try before? What strategies? Because you've
Man,
been in the
simple,
market for 7
beginner stuff, support and resistance.
years.
You see a double top, okay, we're selling. You see a double bottom, we're buying. And majority of the time, I wasn't aware of the liquidity sweeps, so I would enter, and then the liquidity sweeps would happen, and I would be stopped out, and then it would go the way that I thought it would. But I think once you build your strategy, you got to factor in a lot of things as well, like you got to learn about supply and demand zones, or order blocks, or liquidity sweeps. I think liquidity sweeps it's one of the main things that people tend to miss a lot. And then, it sucks when, because it happened to me a lot, is when it goes the way that you thought it would, but you got stopped out because that quick sweep happened, and then a lot
And
of
you
people
became
get taken out, and it
crazy.
sucks because it happens to everybody. I know it does. So you got to be aware of, and then not only that, being able to use like fibs and all that is pretty incredible, because you're able to identify areas where you feel like price will reach here, and then it'll continue either up or down, or it'll reverse, or whatever it may be. So for me, it's just the more cleaner my chart looks, the better for me. When you first start, you start putting all these kind of indicators, RSI,
I've
MACD,
been to that.
yeah,
MACD.
that little cloud. I don't know the name of the cloud. Moving averages is just horrible. I was looking at one of my old charts back in the day. I was like, what was I doing here? But I mean, it's just growing pains. And I think once you see that you're able to understand charts more because of how much cleaner they look, I feel like you're able to focus a little bit more. But all these things that when people start off with, and I feel like that's what smart money concepts really concentrates on. It's just mainly using indicators, trend line, all that stuff. It works, but it works for just for a little bit. If you're able to dig deeper and identify, like for example, if I'm using a trend line and then it breaks, but it only breaks to grab liquidity, that's something that I can keep a key note on for the next time, and then continues to the upside. Um, I had a lot of trades that went that way where, okay, I'm using the trend line. Okay, I know if it breaks the trend line, all I have to do is wait for it to come back and then it'll go down. But it will go down and then it would come back up, but then a quick spike to the upside. And then I was like, oh,
And then, yeah.
what am I doing here? Yeah. And then um, I went from looking for patterns. So, like, for example, bullish flag pattern. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't work. It works, but you shouldn't be so dependent on it.
Mhm.
So not all the time where you'll see like a bearish or bullish flag, it'll go up or down. You know, so it's just about learning to find what really works for you. And I think, unfortunately, there's so much information out there, like on Instagram, on YouTube, that people make it seem like it's so simple. This is not simple. You know, once you got to put in the time to eventually get to that point where, hey, you know, this kind of feels like day and night, and then go from there. But people make it seems like it's so easy from the start, and but that's not always the case, because you got to have the growing pains. Or if you have the luxury of having a good mentor from the get go, that's another amazing thing. But it's pretty unheard of at this point.
Do you think that a mentor can teach you everything from the start, or do you need to put the work in to learn how to behave in a trade? What's your psychology? What exactly works for you?
Your mentor can get you there. I think the key thing is trading can be learned easily, but the mountain that you have the hard that is hardest to climb is the psychology part of it. Until you can't master your emotions, or fear of missing out, then you can't be. I'm not saying you can be a profitable trader, but it hurts you on the long run, because this is a marathon at the end of the day. I still find myself sometimes like feeling emotions, but that's because I'm still an impatient person, which I'm still working on, of course. But then I remind myself that, hey, my strategy got me this far. If I win a trade, cool. If I lose it, cool. You know, I think in one of your Instagram videos, you talked about how it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. You stay very, you don't show any kind of emotions, and I think that's pretty key, because um, it's just sometimes it's you're right, but it just didn't go your way, or you're right, and I think uh, just because you're wrong doesn't mean that you suck as a trader, or you're not going to win another one.
It
That's okay.
happens.
Just limit your losses and maximize your rewards. So I mean, this first payout, I if it wasn't for my losses, I would have made 34% back, and that's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
Um,
that's incredible. That
yeah,
would have
and
been
I think
incredible.
my first 20 trades, I was 100% win rate. I didn't lose a trade in my first 20, and that was I was shocked by that. But then, of course, you know, I'm still fairly young to this profession. You know, I lost a good amount, but I was still able to get something out of it because of how good I did. And you know, I had my days during those. I think the toughest thing too is once you pass your challenge, you still have that 30-day window. But now you guys have this pretty awesome feature where you can add a payout after the first 2 weeks, and the
Yes.
90-10 split, which is
Yeah.
something very different that you guys are doing. And that's pretty incredible, because you're helping out a lot of traders not having to feel the burden of like, I can trade with some comfort because after 2 weeks, I can get paid. Or even you guys are doing a week now, I think, or instant
Yeah,
payout.
first payout on demand.
Yes.
So
I think that's, you guys are doing a lot of that. Like you guys, I feel like you guys are really changing the game on that, because you know, you never know what some people may be going through financially, and you know, they finally climb that mountain of passing a prop firm, but they still got to wait that 30 day window. But with you guys, I think you guys are doing a lot, and it's awesome to see how it's playing out, because I believe in my heart this is the best prop firm out there, just for a number of reasons. As far it starts with Edward, and it goes from yourself posting stuff on YouTube, or which I watch. I watch the YouTube videos. I watch your reels on Instagram. I watch Edwards as well. I think it's a very well-oiled machine, because everybody's throwing out good knowledge everywhere, whether it's in YouTube, whether it's in Instagram, Discord, or you know, the giveaways that you guys do is pretty incredible as well. Because you never know what someone may be going through, and then you know, thanks to that giveaway, they win the challenge, they pass that challenge, and now they're doing good, all because you know, you guys are staying very involved with the trading community, which is amazing. You guys are killing it, and I'm just happy to be be able to be a part of this prop firm and hopefully grow more because yeah, I mean, I don't see going to any other prop firm but this one. This
Oh,
is guys, this is a great firm and you guys need to get with this prop firm because they're amazing from the bottom all the way to the top.
thank you so much. Thank you for the review. I feel like it's so important for people to see that we actually are paying out traders and we
Yes.
actually pay efforts to do all of this stuff.
Yeah, and you know what I like about you guys is on your Discord, y'all have a thread where you show when you're paying your
Mhm.
people. You know, I think that's very incredible. I think like on one of your reels, you said that transparency. If you can't get a reach of the CEO,
Guys, sorry for interrupting this interview. I hope that you're enjoying it, but I have a giveaway alert. All you have to do is to like and subscribe and also leave us a comment telling us what's your favorite feature from GoatFundedTrader. The winners will be announced on Twitter in 1 week.
maybe there's just something a little fishy there. You know, and I think one of the things that Edward is so great at, even though he's a busy guy, he'll if he has time, he'll reach out to you and you know, say, hey man, how's everything going? Or just a quick congratulations, bro. I saw your payout. Congrats, man. Keep it going. That as a trader gives you morale because it's coming from, you know, one of the main people in charge of the GoFundedTrader, you know. And not only that, he'll take the time to, you know, if you send him a chart where you feel like something went wrong or you feel like something went right, he'll confirm that with you. And I don't think a lot of people do that. I've been one of his students for years now, and it's pretty amazing to see how he's grown, how his brand has grown as well, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
So happy to hear that. I observed these things about Eduard too. He doesn't act like a CEO, he acts like your friend most of the
Yeah,
times.
he
He's
does.
really interested. Yeah.
It's very crazy because you know this guy is very successful in what he does, and he has a lot of other ventures going on. But you know, I feel like when he looks at someone who's barely starting to do good or trying to learn, I feel like he sees a little bit of himself when he first started. Because it's
Mhm.
crazy watching his courses from like the first lesson to what he looks like now. It's just like you can see the evolution in him, the evolution in his trading, and I feel like you grow with him as those courses go on, and even now. You know, it's crazy because I actually got on a call with Nicolo in February about passing the FTMO because he has his own little FTMO challenge course, and he told me, okay, you know, buy the course, but it's crazy how things work out because he came out with the announcement a couple months later. I'm opening up my own prop firm. I was like, okay, this is perfect. All right, so I have to go for FTMO because I already had planned to buy my FTMO challenge. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go through here and you know hope for the best. And yeah, I mean it's been amazing since. And you know, right now I am kind of going through a slump, but I know that I will come back. I think just keeping that positive reinforcement that even if you don't take a trade, it's fine. And I think with your no time limit, you guys have the classic and the no time limit, but the no time limit allows you to just take a deep breath. If you feel like you know you lost a good amount that week, just come back the next week. You know, just back test, back test, back test, and then go from there. Just reassure yourself. I think back testing is very underrated as well because when you test out your strategy, it may not work during the live markets that 1 week, but maybe the next week you'll have like 5, 6 setups and you're good to go. And you'll be thankful that you were able to take that reset because it's crazy. Some people pass these challenges in a day or two. It's pretty insane. I'm not there yet, but you know, God willing, I will be one day. But it's incredible how much a mental reset can do for you because um, I hate losing. Losing sucks. Losing money, losing capital, you know. But you can always bounce back from it. You can learn from your mistakes, or you can learn from how to be a little bit more patient. I think you got to look at the positive in every little thing. Every little thing, there's always a little positive, you know. Like
Yes.
for example, okay, man, I lost 1% today, but I'm up 6% for the week, you know. So it's things
Mhm.
like that that can keep you going, you know.
See the
Um,
bright side.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, I was up 34%, but I lost 21%. But I got paid out 12%. So I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean you're able to take the losses, learn from them, and then just grow. I mean, I think every day, no matter how good you are a trader, you're still growing no matter what, because in this, at least in this profession, you're forced to grow every day in any kind of way you can. If it's not the trading, then it's the psychology part of it. And that psychology part, it's like you climb the mountain. Okay, I know how to trade, but you get to another mountain, like, oh, I still got to climb this. But that's just like controlling the greed, the fear, all that psychology part. And I think for
The
me,
most
that's a tough
important part.
climb. But it's worth it at the end of the day, because once you're able to control your emotions and all that, you're good to go. And you see how you don't feel forced to take a setup that looks halfway complete, you know. And I think a lot of people rush into their trades because they just that fear of missing out. That's a very tough thing. Fear of missing out is a very tough thing to overcome. But once you see the results, when you're being patient, you start to slowly come down with it, and then just know that you're only looking for the best setups for you, and that's that.
How does a trading day look for you? How many trades do you take?
So,
When do you start
um,
trading?
at most 3 trades. If I lose
Mhm.
1%, I'm out. Doesn't matter whether I lost it in one trade.
How much do you risk per trade?
So 1 to 3%.
Mhm.
So well, now I am. When I first got started, I got a little too excited, so I was over trading a lot margins, but thankfully they went my way. But those other ones didn't go my way, and it was very tough. But if anything, what I would tell anybody who's first in the prop firm, just because the money's there doesn't mean that you trade it crazily. Trade it smart. Just remember how long it took you to get to this point, because you never know if you're able to going to be in a situation like this again. So what I like to do is either 1 to 3%. If there is no setup for me, there's all right by 10 o'clock. I usually like to just call it quits and then just look forward to the next day. I don't like to force anything after 10 a.m. at least here in my time, because I feel like that's when the market starts to slow down. Um,
Where are you from?
I am from Texas, Houston. Um, and so usually, I don't know where you stay at, but London session for us starts at 2 a.m. I think 2 a.m.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So what's it called? So it'll start at 2 a.m. and then I think the kill zone, like the good where they London and New York cross each other, ends at 10 a.m. So I feel like that's where there's the most volatility. And yeah, if I don't find anything that I like, I've learned how to not take it, because I don't want to dig myself a deeper hole, and put my funded account at risk to being lost, because that means that I have to start all over again, which I don't mind starting from scratch again. But if I can avoid it, that's what I'm gonna do, because I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I can't put myself in a situation where I have to start all over if I can help it. So I think it's very important to take care of the hard work that you've done, and not get too and not lose it because you got too greedy, too emotional. Or I think people in this market, or who trade, want to be right so desperately, but they don't know how to be right. You
I
know,
see.
and when things go the opposite direction, they can't accept the fact that they were wrong and how they approach the trade from the get go. But if you learn how to just accept a loss, even though you ended up being right eventually, hey, at least you were right. Take that positive, and then come back the next day, and then hey, the next day may be the best day you got. And I think
Mhm.
the beautiful part about trading, you trade smartly, those losses can be quickly recuperated. Quick. Um, all it takes is one trade to either blow your account or gain your account. It's that simple, and I think people tend to underestimate that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the beauty of this. Even if you had a 1% bad day, the next day you come back with 2.5. and you can be up 1.5 by the end of the week. I think that's
Yes,
pretty amazing.
if you have a good risk management, a trading plan,
Yeah,
and
if you
the
have
risk
good risk
is
management,
positive.
a good trading plan, you control your emotions. I think these things are very repeated by those traders that went through a lot themselves, but isn't really valued information because everybody feels like when they first come in, they're like, "Oh, I can do this. This is easy," but
Mhm, mhm.
it's never like that. You don't know it until you're in that situation. I'm sure like there's a lot more people out there that taking harder hits than I, as far as like taking losses. It's just learning how to cope with the loss, no matter how big or small, but just reminding yourself, hey, maybe I can come back tomorrow and regain it and a little bit more, and I'm good to go. I end up positive in a week. I think telling yourself or giving yourself that pep talk, like, hey, it's gonna be okay. It didn't go my way today, but maybe it'll go my way tomorrow. And if it doesn't, then we can just take a step back test, and see what I'm missing, and then go from there.
I see that you shared a lot of good pieces of advice right now for the trader.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I've learned from my pain, still learning from them. You know, because I am, as a person, I am a very emotional person, but trading has helped me out a lot with learning how to deal with my emotions. And I think that's a beautiful part about trading. Your weaknesses will show from the get go. They're going to show, but if you start to grow as a trader, you can start to grow outside of trading. You can apply it to your real life. You start to realize, hey, I'm being more patient here, whereas the old me was impatient when this would happen. And I think that's the beautiful part of it. Yeah, you can apply all the things that you do in trading to the outside world, and you can learn how to make more conscious decisions.
yes, for example, you mentioned in the beginning that you're not really a patient person.
I'm not a
So
patient person. I'm not.
this is why you scalp. First of all, you chose something that works for you. I feel like you couldn't be a swing trader.
Yeah.
You go in and out pretty quick. But
Yeah.
this absolutely fine for you. So there's no problem with that. You discovered something about yourself and you're applying it in your trading. So I feel like this is what most traders forget to do. They just follow a mentor, they follow their strategy, but they forget to put their own personality in their trades.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I feel like a mentor, when they mentor somebody, is because they've had the capability to overcome those emotions. But you can't teach that to a person. All you can do is teach the stuff. Like I said, trading is easy. Like learning how to get the gist of it. But the biggest mountain you got to climb is that psychological mountain. Uh, it's like when Edward trades his stuff or like shows it on screen, you start to pick up on it quick. You do, but you don't factor in the emotion, and when you don't factor in the emotion, you can't control how other people think. And I think that's what gives trading, like our forex trading, at least a bad name, is when things don't go their way. People, oh, this is a scam. This sucks. Don't do this. But that's not the case. It's just people get the information, they get the knowledge, but they don't know how to apply it because they can't blame themselves. They got to blame everything else. Why everything else went wrong? Why everything went wrong is because of another person didn't teach it right, but they don't take a step back and realize or look at themselves in the mirror like, I'm the problem. Until you can't fix yourself mentally, I don't think you should get anywhere near your chart. Try to master your emotions first. Um, you can do a lot of. I think this is why it's beautiful to have demo accounts, because uh, account simply reflects how you trade, how you think. In my opinion, um, if you're doing good, it's because, hey, maybe you can handle it. Maybe you're good at this. To some people, it may come natural. Um, but like I said, I'm not a very patient person. I'm not, especially in the charts. Like I'll still have those moments where I click an order and I'm like freaking out. But it's because it's not that I don't I don't trust my trading plan. It's just who I am as a person. But I'm trying to do my best to work on that. And the last couple of weeks, it's been like that too, where like I'm able to click sell or buy, and I'm able to actually take my eye off trading view and not keep up with it. If it hits my stop loss, if it hits my top profit, cool, And the thing is, like, key factors, you're not going to be right 100% of the time. You can have everything down to the T, but it doesn't guarantee you that you're going to win a trade. So I think that's something that people need to understand, that it's not your strategy. Sometimes the market just likes to do whatever, and don't give up on your strategy too quick. Just if you feel like you took some losses, just come back and retry your strategy, or be open to maybe adjusting it in some sort of way. I think having an open mind in this industry is very key, because not everybody knows everything at the end of the day. Everybody's still learning from where they can. The only ones who know everything are the big banks, because they're the one who control the markets. They know where it's going to go, but us as retail traders, we're just trying to keep up with them, and luckily you have there's many resources out there now. FX replay, I know Edward was showing that off the other day, where you can go back in time and back test your strategy, see how you would have done, or just simply trading view as well. I feel like there's a lot of reasons. There's more reasons not to fail now than to fail. The only way you can fail is to just give up completely.
Yes.
So, I mean, as long as you're still involved some way, whether it's working on your personality or working on your mental awareness, you're doing something that's going to benefit you towards trading at the end of the day. It just doesn't have to be charts. Read a book about, okay, how can I be more patient? Or find something that correlates with trading, that can help you with trading. Self-aware meditation, whatever you feel is going to help you out. I like to walk out in the mornings now that it's going to start to, the temperatures are about to drop down. Just walk around my backyard and get ready for the trading day. Just walk around slowly. Once that happens, I feel relaxed. Okay, let's look at charts. Let's see what's up. Let's see what's going on. But I feel like a lot of people, I've been guilty of this. They'll put an order overnight, and then they'll wake up at a random time of the night, and they'll look whether their account is. They don't set a stop loss. I've had that situation where I don't set a stop loss, and I wake up and where's my money at? So I recommend to just of course, if you're gonna do that overnight, set a stop loss, and make sure it's a good setup to where you can sleep, because I feel like a lot of people who first start, they don't get enough rest. I didn't get enough rest because you can't go to sleep because you're afraid that it's going to go against you. And
it's also the excitement.
Yeah. And but I mean, it's growing pains. There's a lot of people have grown in a lot of different ways, but I think overall the most important thing is this profession can help you get better every day. Don't measure yourself by the wins or losses. You're still growing, and it's okay whether you win or lose. Keep your emotions at bay, no matter whether it's a win or a loss, because at the end of the day, we're all still growing. I mean, I'm sure you've been trading for quite some time, but you find yourself in situations like, oh, so this is what happened. I knew that, but okay, we'll come back next time. I'll make sure to not miss that for the next time. And doesn't matter how long you've been trading, everybody's still learning some way, somehow. If people have made it far with trading, it's because they stuck to their strategies. They stuck to the strategy. They put in the time. And I think that's a thing that people tend to miss a lot is, yeah, they're being successful, but you don't know how much that overnight success looked like. For me, overnight success looked like 7 years, until I finally got my first payout. Everything I lost in those 7 years, I got it back with that first payout. And I was like, wow, okay. That 7-year journey was completely worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's something that, the grass is always greener at the end of the day on the other side. Just keep going. I think if there's something that I would tell anybody who feels like, okay, I can't do this, I'm not seeing any results, just keep going. The results will come. They'll slowly start to compound when you you start to grow mentally, or you start to realize, okay, oh, I'm doing this, but let me try this. There's always adjustments that need to be made when you first start, as far as your strategy goes, and then you'll find out what works best for you. You'll eventually find it. As long as you don't give up, you have a chance to make good money out of this, because there's great money to be made here. But uh,
True.
you're competing against bigger institutions. They're the ones who control everything. All you have to do is pretty much sit back, identify the patterns, and then go from there. um, but it's a lot of growing pains. You have to go through a lot. You don't have to go through a lot, but it helps when you do, because it builds like a callus. Like you don't feel phased by it at the end of the day, because you've been through worse. But what happened? You got through it, and here we are.
I see. Again, you made some good points. You talked a lot about psychology. It is shown right here that you've been through a lot in these 7 years.
A
Uh,
lot, yeah, a lot.
yeah. Did you blow many accounts before?
So yeah, I've blown about. I was actually taking a calculation. I blew through 9.8K in those 7 years. Um, the highest I got at one point was $2,000, and I remember that one was very crushing, because I was saving up towards a down payment on a house, and I had $2,000. I was off to a good start. I lost it the next day, and I was like, okay. And then I think that one hurt the most, because I think at one point that was my biggest account, and I started off that account with $200. So I was like, I got 10 times return, and I was so amped up. I was so happy. But when you feel high, or you feel like you're on mountain high, you feel like you can do anything, but that's not the reality all the time. And I think the one that really, for me, did it was when I was out of a job, when I quit my job to do this full time. I didn't have the money to pay for the bills, and I had a mortgage on top of me. Um, Luckily, I got blessed with a great partner. She supported me. She's like, just keep going. You'll get there. And I did. And it's crazy how things happen now, because she's not working now, but having this on the side helps out a lot, to where she doesn't have to do that. And
Yes, you were so pressed back then. You
yeah,
had
yeah,
nobody to rely
yeah. It
on.
was. I think when I blew that account earlier this year, it set me up to the success that I have now, because I didn't throw in the towel. I was sad. Don't get me wrong. I was sad. Uh, but I took the time to read books, and I found a lot of comfort in reading books, because I was able to change my mentality little by little. Um,
Mhm.
and all that stuff that I learned from those books from February till June, when I passed the prop firm, really helped out a lot, because it allowed me to pass the prop firm on my second try. It was
What recommendations do you have for the viewers?
for books.
Yes.
My favorite one so far is The Alchemist. I don't know if you heard of that one. The Alchemist is a really great book. Um, Atomic Habits, actually.
I read that one.
Yep. James Clear, Atomic
Oh,
Habits. Really
it's
great
right in
stuff.
front of you.
Yeah, I have my books with me right here. The Alchemist. So The Alchemist is about a shepherd boy who wants to. So he gets told to find some riches, but he stumbles across different things along the way, including his own mentality. To whereas I feel like a lot of traders go through that, where they don't see any success, so they'll be like, "All right, well, let me just stop. Maybe I'll make it out just working a job." That's never the case. The goal is to have as much time as you can to yourself or with your family, to enjoy. But eventually, he ends up, you know, not giving up. And I think the
Mhm.
key component in that book is perseverance. If you just keep going, you can do anything. You can do anything as long as you don't give up. You have a chance, and I think that's pretty amazing, because me as an impatient person, I would have never believed that. But now that I lived through it, I'm like, yeah, okay, it is actually true. If you're a little
Yeah.
bit patient, if you can take a step back and realize, okay, maybe I can do this. All right, let's just keep going. All right, keep going. So there's those two books, and then I don't know if you read this one as well, Power Habit. That's a
Yes.
good one. This one is more about mental toughness, but these are my two top favorite books right now. So it's about this. I don't know if you heard of David Goggins before.
No, which
No,
one is this? I can't
it's
really
It Can't
start
Hurt
with.
Me. I
Mhm.
don't He has two books, so it's this one and then Never Finish. His stuff is more on mental toughness, learning how to pick your own self up when you've hit maybe rock what you feel like is rock bottom. Learning how to be tough, even though because life will hit you more with bad things than good things, But it's how you react to the yeah. It all comes down how you're going to react to that bad time. Have you been in this spot before? And if you have, you got through it, right? All right, you're gonna get through this one again. And I think that's what people don't at times don't realize that this is gonna pass. It's gonna pass, and once it passes, maybe your good time will come. It's learning how to overcome the bad times and enjoy the good times you're in. Cherish the little things because
Mhm.
they're not around for a long time. They're not. And I think that's all these books. I have a lot of books here that I've read during my time that I wasn't working. They really
And I
helped out.
feel like they all help with the psychology part.
Yeah, psychology part, which is the part that I was missing because I knew how to trade. It's just the bigger picture was control your emotions, learn how to, learn how to not want to take it all in one trade. You know, um, not try to make 30% off of one trade, because you can risk losing 5% like that because you're trying to gain a lot. Just keep it simple. If you stay consistent with that, you'll reach 30% within 6-7 trades and only maybe lose 2%. Whereas you try to go all in one trade. This is not gambling, and I had to learn that. And it's still something I tell myself every day. This is not gambling. This is not a casino. Make a smart approach, and you'll get there. And that's just how I approach it because um, sometimes you have to remind yourself um, like how to just take it easy. Don't try to rush. I feel like a lot of people who spend time on charts, they spend this long time on charts because they feel like um, they're gonna find a setup, but your eyes start to play tricks on you. Like,
They
oh,
start to
it's happening.
invent.
Okay, yeah, the setup is happening. Oh my god, it's actually happening. And then you enter too early, and then you get stopped out, or you blow your account. It's like, yeah. So try to limit. I think the key thing is if you're not trading, that's fine. Okay, you can be on the charts, but just back testing. If there's no setup, don't spend too much time to where your eyes are playing tricks on you because it does happen. It does happen where you're saying, okay, I'm seeing the change of character. Okay, it's gonna happen, but then I miss out one little detail because I've been so anxious to get in a trade because I feel like I'm falling behind. You're never falling behind. If you're not taking a loss, you're not falling behind. Even if you take a loss, you're not falling behind. But
This, this happened to me when I took some losses during the day. I started to imagine things just to like
yes, yes,
get numbers and back.
yeah. So I'm actually reading this other book. It's called Thinking in Bets. I don't know if you heard of that one, but in that book, it shares that some people want to be so right sometimes that their mind starts to play tricks on them where it creates scenarios in their head that okay, this is starting to happen, so I'm going to be right, so I'm going to pull the trigger, and it's never the case. It's just how powerful
Yeah.
the mind is. When you want something so bad, it'll start creating these scenarios where you feel like you're going to be right, but at the end of the day, you're just more wrong. And
Yeah,
I think
unfortunately, on charts, this can be possible. The charts prove you wrong.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's it's pretty incredible how the mind can do that, but it's because you're just so anxious to get in a trade. You don't have to take a trade every day. Why? Why risk your capital? Especially with funded accounts, because yeah, you may have passed this challenge, but maybe you won't be mentally ready to pass another one because it's very tough. I'm actually on a 200K trying to pass that one, I was up 5K at one point, but now I'm down 5K. But I'm like, okay, well, I'm taking a step back, only looking for the good setups and then go from there, and I think a lot of people too, I know I've been guilty of this, is trading news. Oh my God, no,
On
no,
Grover?
never again. I actually not this past London England CPI, the one for July, I think. That's the last news I ever traded. So now I learned my lesson. I was like, nope, I'm not doing this again. So every time I see like NFP or CPIs, I just start to like think about other traders, like, oh, they're gonna trade this. Some are gonna get lucky, it's gonna go their way, and some are not. And it's just like, because I've blown accounts for CPI in the past too. But this one really, really did hit me hard because I was up a good amount, and then all of a sudden, I put a buy, but it went straight down. I'm just like, okay, I'm out.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth
If
it.
it,
No, and I think I feel like a lot of people come into this treating it as like gambling, and they
Mhm.
get that like adrenaline rush when they're up or when they're down too, because you're freaking out. But if you don't treat it that way, because if you treat it right, it'll allow you to open a lot more doors financially. You can be a lot more financially stable. Not only that, but you can also be you can have a lot of time on your hands too if you do it right. Just because you don't take a trade in one day, it doesn't mean you're falling behind. It's fine. That's good. You're not losing. You're not risking anything. And sometimes it's good not to risk anything. There's nothing there. Don't feel like you're pressured to pass. And I think, like I said, that's the beauty about GoFundedTrader as far as their no time limit. Your no time limit, because you don't feel obliged to take a trade every day in order to pass. And you guys eased off the pressure even more with the 2 weeks payout or the first payout. I think that's pretty incredible because some people can't. For me, those 30 days were hell. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, I'm building up my account. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I still gotta wait because I got 30 days before. And towards the end, it got rocky because I started losing money. I'm just like, can the first month be over already? Like I feel like it's felt like years. And then finally, when I pressed the button for the payout, I was like, I let out a deep, relief, and I was just like, oh, finally. But then I started that you guys, I feel like you guys know that, you know, um, not a lot of people like to wait, and I think it's pretty awesome that you're able to add on your order now. Okay, I can get paid after 2 weeks. Not only that, but I can get paid 90/10. And I think that's pretty incredible because it shows how you guys want to see people grow. And not only that, how you guys are revolutionizing the old standard of prop firms where it's 30 days. Okay. You guys are now doing the first demand payout, um, or no time limit. I mean, I think that was pretty awesome. I think you guys are the first ones to do that, if I'm not mistaken.
the no time with no, somebody was doing
Yes.
it before us, but still, I feel like this happened because programs started to be run by traders. In the past, they were run by CEOs, by business people. They didn't understand the needs of traders. But right now, they eliminated this mental stress that came with passing a prop firm.
Yeah.
I was so pressed in the past. I had the 30 days to pass, the 60 days to pass. Like for me, I tried to pass it in the first week just because I knew that maybe the next week I wouldn't have any possibilities, any setup. Maybe I will lose the
Yep.
challenge.
Hmm.
So it
Yep.
was awful. 'Cause,
Yeah. No. So I think that's another thing as far as like for me, I thought the same way like you. Oh snap! I'm gonna have only good setups this week. Next week, I better pass it now because next week I'm not gonna see anything. And it's a mentality that I'm still working on, but I've gotten a lot better with because I don't feel rushed to trade because I know the opportunities are gonna come. They're gonna come, and when they come, they're gonna be fine. You know, and I think a lot of
really,
people when they're in that groove of win, 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 the weekends, they feel that same pressure to keep doing that the next week. But every week is different. You're not going to find the same setups every week. And I think it's important to just stay consistent. Don't rush anything just because you had a good week. Doesn't promise you're going to have a great week next week, because the market is crazy, especially when all these news comes out. But just, take it one day at a time is what I would advise. Just take it one day at a time. If you had a bad day, walk it off. I feel like once you lose, you lose. Get away from the screens. Don't try to revenge trade. I've been guilty of that too, revenge trading. It's gone my way sometimes, but when it hasn't, it sucks. And you just dig yourself in a deeper hole, And what I forgot to, like you just mentioned right now too, what I liked about this prop firm is funded by traders. It was created by traders. So, Edward, as a trader himself, he knows the difficulty of waiting 30 days, because in those 30 days you have the possibility of blowing your account, and then what now, and that sucks. That was one of my biggest fears. Once I passed the challenge, I was like, man, I'm only $8,000 away, or 8% away from losing this, and but thankfully that didn't happen. Still hasn't happened, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen. But yeah, I think you guys really have helped ease the pressure on a lot of things as far as the psychology part of the market goes. You don't feel rushed. You can get paid out after if you pass. You get paid out 2 weeks or instantly, and you get a good profit split. And I think that's pretty amazing, because some people's timing are different than others. Some people may need to pass and they need that payout as soon as they can because of their financial reasons. You never know. And you guys provide that way. And I think that's pretty awesome, because not a lot of prop firms are willing to do that, because I feel like other prop firms set you up to where you can pass, but it's still up in the air depending on that 30-day window,
Another step to take.
Yeah, you still got to climb. It's like you climb one step or one mountain. All right, you pass phase 2, you climb that mountain, but now you got the longest mountain waiting for you, because
Yeah, you're so
days,
close. You're so close,
like,
but
yeah, like I feel for me, those 30 days were those. I started off good. I think I was up 10% on that first week, but on Friday I took a loss and it brought me down to like 5%, and I was like, all right, well, shit, here we go. So what's it called? So, and I'm like, I still got 3 weeks of this. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. And eventually I'm just glad I was able to get out of those 30 days. But when I saw that you guys took the adjustment of like, hey, how about this? We'll pay you in 2 weeks and we'll give you a 90-10 on top of that. I think that's pretty incredible. And it makes it more rewarding taking the challenges through GoatFundedTrader, because you guys give the opportunity to have good results right away, but it comes at you got to be a disciplined trader when you start, because like I said, these other firms do allow you to take a retake, and you guys do allow a retake on the first phase, I think, if you're in profit, or the second one too.
I'm not sure.
I think it's on the first one, because so when I failed my first time, I thought there was a retake, but there was only a retake if you're in profit. So I think you guys really set the standard as far as like having quality traders, because you only get one shot at it. If you fail, you got to rebuy the course or rebuy the challenge and start all over again.
The pressure.
I passed my phase 1, but I failed my phase 2. But that's because I got too excited. I'm like, man, I'm only 5% away from finally getting funded. And but don't ever get too excited. Just keep going, stay the course, and you'll get there. And I think you guys give that opportunity to where you can you can have more success than failures. The only way you can fail is honestly if your mind gets the best of you, and if you're not patient enough with learning how to not take a setup. I mean, for me now, the motto is no setup, no trade. All right, cool. Because I'm not going to risk what took me so long to get, pretty much taking it day by day. Everybody has their bad days. I think everybody has their bad days, but how you respond to those bad days, whether you want to feel bad for yourself, throw yourself a pity party, or study. Usually now my mentality is, okay, I've had a bad day. Let me revisit this course or Edward's course. I revisit his stuff. Let me revisit this and see what I'm missing and take a mental note of it and have it ready for the next trading session. And
Yeah, you better learn from it instead of just making a pity out of yourself.
exactly. And you know, I've been guilty of that as well, where, you know, man, I feel bad for myself. I work so hard, and you know, I'll throw myself a pity party. But now it's my mentality has changed a lot. Well, and I think that's where you start to learn that you're maturing outside of trading as well, because you're like, you don't feel bad for yourself, you know, because at the end of the day, you're the one who took the decision, even if you knew in a way it was going to be a bad one. But you took the decision. So no one else is at fault but you. You know, how can you improve in order to become a better trader? Just study and learn how to take the losses, but also try to keep in mind that you can gain that back and a little bit more with one setup. If I take one trade a week, and that week and that gives me 5%, hey, at least I got 5% off of that one trade. I mean, on a 200,000 funded account, that's amazing.
That's
And
a lot. Yeah.
and
So
or even on $100,000 account, that's pretty incredible. So I feel like, you know, I'm not gonna try to dig as much as I can to find a setup. If it's not there, it's simply not there. That doesn't mean that, like I said, I'm not falling behind or anything like that. It's just taking smarter decisions to improve as a trader and grow as a trader. Like I said, you know, I think that's why it's pretty incredible when you have like this kind of access to like funds and like this in big amounts. It's all sometimes all you have to make is 1% or 2%, and you're good. You're good.
yes,
You know,
for
whatever,
example,
even if it's a 0.5%, hey, that's money that you didn't have, you know, and you got it. Good for you, you
yeah,
know. And not
now
only that, you can,
terms.
all you have to do is compound your results, and you'll be fine. And I think I've learned how to, even though I set the bar so high because of my first payout, but I was happy when I got my second payout. It's like, hey, at least I'm getting a payout, you know. I went from
Yes.
10% to 3%. Yeah, the difference, well, to be fair, the 10% was over a month period. But I mean, I'm still like, man, hey, at least I'm still getting paid something, you know. Um, Granted, right now I'm down, but I know that with a trade tomorrow or later on today, it can change. You know,
Yeah, you can get out of the drawdown.
I
It's
can get
fine.
another payout. Yeah, I don't care if it's only 0.5%. I think what people focus so much more on is on the money. It shouldn't be that. It's focus on how your results are showing for themselves. You know, the money will come. The money will come. It will come. But concentrate on compounding little things that'll help you become as a better trader. Once you do that, the money will start flowing, and you don't even think about it. I don't even think about the money now. I just think about how can I get better in trading every single day, you know? And I feel like lately I've gotten better to where I feel like I'm not forced to take a trade every day, you know, because I'm not going to put my money at risk that I can't afford to lose, because then I'll have to start the process all over again. Although you guys do make it easier, because if I do pass, now I'll have a 2 week payout or an instant payout, and then I have a good profit split from the get go. But my goal is to take care of my funded accounts as best as I can. I think once you realize what you know losing feels like in trading, you try to minimize it as much as you can, you know, because losing money in trading sucks, especially when you're doing funded accounts, because you don't know if you're going to get back. Some people don't recover back from that, where they had a good amount on their 200K account or on a good amount on a 100K account. They blow through that. They blow the account. Sometimes the psychology of the mind doesn't allow you to retake a course and pass it, because you can't get over the fact that, oh man, I had it, but I blew it because I made stupid decisions, you know. And I think just doing little things that can allow you to apply to training as well, whether it's meditation or just relaxing. I have two dogs, pretty amazing dogs. They keep me busy, so it's not like, or if my wife wants to spend time as well, I'm like, that's a distraction that I can use even after a loss. You know, like I'm distracted because I know that I'm going to come back tomorrow, but you know, I called it quits, and trading is in the back of my head. I think a lot of people like to spend too much time on charts, which is not a bad thing, but I think after you taking losses, just get off of it. Just take a mental reset. go out and get a coffee, go out and or whatever, go for a walk, and it
And the
works.
most important thing, don't think of charts when you're doing it.
Yeah. Like if you're losing, why why are you gonna revenge trade? I understand it hurts. It hurts because I've blown through a lot of accounts and I've done revenge trading and it doesn't work out because let me say this delicately, it's very dumb to try to keep trading after you've taken losses, because it's just there's no point to it. Just I think as a very impatient person that I am, I'm very impatient. Um, I can't stand losing, but I can
Mhm.
always give myself a break and say, "Hey, just come back tomorrow. Today was a bad day, but doesn't mean that tomorrow's going to be the same day." Just take a mental reset and you're good. And typically that's how it works. I'll come back the next day. I'll make 0.5% or 1%. Good. That's
You're
up.
really,
I gain back and I'm back on either break even or I'm building back up what I've lost. So it's just about adding one block at a time and eventually you find yourself at a huge tower or whatever. But yeah, I think it's pretty incredible that just as much as you can lose, you have the opportunity to win back. Um, and it's just about how you accept the losses. Um, and obviously, I mean, I think this whole time I've been talking about psychology, but I feel like that's the main thing that needs people need to understand is I think anybody can learn how to read a chart once they've put time into it. But when it comes time to execute, that's a different story because you can be like me at the beginning where I would pass a trade and I'm freaking out from the first second. I'm just like, oh my God, is it gonna go my way? Or when you see it like go up and you're like, oh, man, I should have entered that trade. I should have entered right here. Or,
yeah, yeah. A lot of scenarios happening.
yeah, and for me, I've been a trader that rarely use stop loss, but now I'm starting to incorporate it more. Um, I don't know how I made it this far as like making good money on this. But yes, people use your stop loss. Please use your stop loss. I'm telling you. Um,
Yeah, it's risky. It's
yeah,
risky if you really care about the account. Like
yeah.
if you just
Or you'll
put
blow your
money,
account, trust me. And don't trade news, guys. Don't trade news because it's not worth it. For me, was what works best as far as like let's say payroll if it goes negatively against the dollar. What I like to do with the other pairs, I know it'll go up, but then I'll have a retrace, and that's where I use my fibs. Once it reaches the middle point of that fibs, I know it's going to continue up, and then you know set a small stop loss and a good reward, and that's it. But I feel like people try to get all the pips from the get go, and that's not a good idea. I've been guilty of that too, like where before a major news comes out, and I'll just pretty much gamble. Well, I used to. I don't do that anymore. I wait now. You got to wait, you know. And there's beauty in waiting because then you can have a good whatever goes up. It'll goes up. Will come back down and then continue up. I think I've learned how to like just go with the market, let it do its thing first, and then see what it gives me, what kind of setup it can give me to go up or to go wherever I feel like it's going to go. Um, so I think that's pretty incredible. But I'm very thankful of you guys because you guys have a lot of great content out there. Started from YouTube videos.
thank you.
I think I was having a bad week that week, and then I watched one of your change of character videos. I was like, oh, that's right. It clicked again. I was like, oh, okay, that's right. I do remember that. Okay, let me apply it to the next one. Or your reels as far as like why you feel like traders, you know, fail their challenges or things that you said on your reels on Instagram. I'm just like, yeah, I can relate to that. But I think it's pretty awesome again with this firm is that you guys relate to traders because you guys do trading yourselves. And it's not a CEO who doesn't do anything. He just has some money to throw out there. I think that's the beauty of this firm is that it's funded by traders and it's for traders. Everything is more favorable to the trader, and you guys allow a lot of more flexibility than other firms, that's for sure. I know Edward was having trouble with his page the other day.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm just like,
it
man, you got
disappeared.
right. And to those haters out there, man, whatever, we're gonna continue to grow. So I'm pretty excited. So the goal I have now is to get funded 500K by the end of the year. That's the goal. Um, obviously through you guys, and then maybe next year 800K. I don't know if you guys are gonna raise the limit on that eventually, but whatever it is, that's the limit where I want to be at, and I don't think I'll be trading in any other prop firm than this one. This prop firm is amazing, and I recommend it to all those people who are impatient like me. You guys allow a lot of, like I said, a lot of flexibility to where you don't have to feel rushed, or take it one day at a time type thing.
Thank you so much for the appreciation and for all the words that you said right now. Also for all the pieces of advice, the valuable pieces of advice that you shared with the audience. I'm pretty sure that they will like this interview. We spoke a lot. You shared a lot of gems with us in 1 hour.
I know I had Edward message me a couple times, just set up a good date, but eventually we got here, and thank you for your time. You were amazing. Keep those. I watch your videos a lot because it's good stuff, and I think there's a lot of value in those videos. As far as like the GoFunded page, the YouTube channel, great stuff, guys. Take a look at that. If you're having a bad week, sometimes all you need to remind yourself is, little pieces of knowledge, and you guys allow that, or little pieces of psychology as far as the mental state of mind. You guys do cover a lot as far as it's a well-rounded machine. Like you guys start from psychology, and you guys throw a lot of content out there that I feel like traders can relate to, and I think that's pretty incredible because it shows that you guys care about like people passing and allowing them to have those opportunities to be financially free. And you can be financially free in this thing, but you got to learn how to master a lot of things before you get there. That's for sure.
Takes time.
Yeah, it takes time, but time flies, and next thing you know is like for me. I mean, I just when I finally passed my prop firm, I was like, it's been 7 years since I started. That's crazy. But all right, here we are, 7 years later, and you don't feel 7 years at all, honestly, and it's pretty insane. Like what some people consider overnight success. Overnight success can look 20, 25 years to someone, and but so what I like to do now is I've had people message me on Instagram now, and I just refer them to you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You guys, I believe in what y'all do. You guys are changing the game. I think that's very important, especially with everything changing minute by minute around the world. I think this prop firm it's bound to be one of the top ones for sure. It's top one in my book, and I can't wait to see you guys grow, and hopefully I can grow with you guys.
Thank you. I wish for it. I wish you good luck with the next challenges and with growing your account, reaching that 800K.
Yeah, that's the goal for now. I mean, if you guys push it to 1 million, it's gonna have to be 1 million. So hopefully that's the goal. Whatever you guys are setting, whatever bar you guys are setting, that's the bar I'm gonna try to meet. Because, like I said, I love trading for you guys. You guys are amazing. Everything from the customer service to the CEO who was only a message away, and as well as you're very reachable as well. And not only that, you're very out there with your Instagram videos and throwing good information out there. I think the main thing when it comes to trade, there's a lot of information out there, but try to learn how to pick out the good information. And how can you pick out the good information? It's by seeing how reachable people really are. I feel like everybody's selling courses nowadays, but it's courses that don't really have a lot of explanation. I've had that thing where I bought a course and I was like, what the hell am I doing? But there's people generally out there that want to see other people grow, and you guys are one of those people. It's pretty awesome to see.
Thank you so much. Thank you for accepting our interview.
Sorry about my hair. My hair. I woke up a little. Sorry.
There's no.
To the audience, I'm sorry. My hair. I had a little crazy day today, but
no worries about that. Pretty sure that the viewers are focusing on the gems that you were talking about. Like nobody focuses on that.
But what's it called? Yeah, no, I really feel honored that you said I was the first one to get interviewed.
Yes,
that's pretty amazing. All the little things that I had planned are slowly starting to come to fruition. I'll be meeting Edward actually down in September. I'm going to go to Canary Islands and meet him. So I'm pretty excited for that, just to learn more. I think the beauty is once you have access to, payouts like the ones I've had, you're able to invest in yourself a little bit more, as far as like in your knowledge or other things. I was able to upgrade my setup from when I first started, which is amazing. And then now I'm setting up upstairs as well. So I don't make a lot of noise when it comes to London session. Uh, yeah, so because the wife is sleeping, she gotta have her sleep, and
Yeah. The
so
schedule is the best one for you,
yeah,
but you manage
right.
to it.
So yeah, no, I mean, like I said, you guys have made everything so easy, so transparent from your Discord to your post. I mean, I think if people give it a bad review, it's just because they had a bad experience themselves. It's not you guys, it's probably the person. And I think people need to stop that because it's not fair to those that are actually trying to, find a good prop firm, but don't take that chance because of that one bad review, which is not true. It's just how the person traded that day or how they felt that moment or that week. But you guys overall are great firm from, like I said, from the CEO who you can reach out to. When he has time, he will respond. And I'd say that because I do talk to him. And then to the customer service, they were great. I think I knew that this was different when we had, like I said, we had problems with my first payout, and Edward took the time to reach out. Hey, Jose, look, I know you're set to get paid on this date, but something happened with my bank, and I'll keep you posted. Sure did. A couple days later, he told me, look, you should be receiving it on this day, and on that day, I received it. So the fact that he took the initiative of saying, hey, you're gonna get paid, but something's going on, and I think that shows the transparency, which is very important. And I think on other platforms, I don't know if I would have gotten that uh, personal touch as far as the CEO reaching out to me. So
Probably.
yeah, that was pretty amazing. I was like, yeah, okay, this is pretty badass. So I'm pretty excited to see where this platform goes. I'm sure a lot of people are counting you guys out because of how you guys are being different as far as like payouts and splits. You guys aren't going anywhere. You guys are going to the top. And like I said, I'm just hopefully I get to be a part of that and then go from there.
Thank you. Let's hope for the best.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I have trust in God. This is what I said in the beginning too. This is what I told Edward. I'm coming with you. I'm collabing with you only because I know that this prop is going to go far.
Yeah.
What you're building here is awesome. It's different. That's why I'm heading in this journey with you. Like it's different. What
Yeah,
he does, he has a group of traders and asks them every day, like, what should be improved? What do you think about this? Like he asks people in order to build a prop one for them.
Mhm.
So for the users,
He
it's so
knows
important
or
to
anything.
see this work.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's something very valuable because you feel included, you feel like you're part of something big. And if like I said, with what happened to him this past week, if you're rattling cages, then you're doing something right because someone's not liking it, obviously, because they're mad they didn't think about it, or maybe they did think about it but didn't take the chance. And what you guys are just leaping over a lot of barriers, and it's pretty awesome to see because like I said, the flexibility that you guys allow is amazing. But you got to do it right. You got to pass. Just because all these flexibilities are there doesn't mean that you're gonna go trade stupid. No, you're gonna have to do it smartly because you guys are giving us an opportunity to get access to quicker payouts if we do everything right on our end. You guys are giving us the tools. It's just about us learning how to use those tools correctly, and putting in our time to pass these challenges and then going from there. But yeah, like I said, one thing that does upset me is when I guess people fail challenges or they breach whatever whatever the contract you guys state, and then they get mad. Oh, it's because of this and that. It's like, you broke the rule, but yet you don't have the time to acknowledge that. It's not
It
the firm.
happens.
It's the person, honestly, at the end of the day. But I've never had any problems, and I don't think I ever will with you guys. And like I said, you guys are going to the top, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Hopefully we're gonna make it far with it.
Yeah, you guys are making noise already. I know you guys are making noise already because, like I said, what happened last week? Yeah, something's going on there. So, but that's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Jose, for your time. I'm happy that we did this interview. I'm happy that you joined us. I know that you had a bad time right now, and so I'm so happy that this happened. Like,
Yes,
I'm so
absolutely.
happy that you accepted it in the end.
Yes.
So, yeah, have a great day, and we keep in touch.
Yes,
I'm gonna
for
see
sure.
you everything, and thank you again for your time.
Well, thank you, Andrea. Keep up the good content. Love watching it.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.